So picture the scene, you've won 13 games in a row. In that time you've only conceded one goal, and that was to a softly awarded penalty. You're 1-0 up in your latest game. 60 minutes are on the clock. The referee awards your opponents a free kick on the edge of your box. Knowing FM as well as you do, what do you reckon happened next? So if your money was on them curling the free kick into the top corner, you would be sadly mistaken, I'm afraid. No, it hits the post, bounces off our goalkeeper's backside and heads into the net. That meant that our 13 game in a row winning streak was over, and it got worse because they had a shot in the box, bounced off one of our defenders, ricocheted off their attacker who had the shot, and we end up losing that game 2-1. We'd gone from 13 games in a row winning, only conceded one goal, to losing and conceding 2 in the process. And since then we have hit a wobble. And here is the wobble in question. So in that last episode, we beat bottom of the table Le Mans 5-0. We then went to Montpellier, a team a division above us in the French Cup. We beat them 2-0. And I thought we were on a fantastic run. But then that Dunkirk game is where they scored the free kick off our keeper's behind. And since then, things have not been well in the camp. We bounced back to winning ways with a 2-0 win against Caen. We made further progress in the cup, but we did need penalties in order to get through. And since then, we've had 1 win in the last 5, and there's been 3 defeats in that little run. One of them was going out of the cup to local rivals Bordeaux. We can live with that. They're a division above us. They're a good side. And we did ourselves proud in a 2-1 defeat. But where we did not do ourselves proud was in losing 2-0 to Nancy. We probably should have got a draw in this game, but our goals have dried up a little bit recently, and so have the clean sheets, unfortunately. A 5-0 win doesn't really mask the problems we've been having. We lost 2-0 to Sochaux in a league game, and again, we probably should have got at least a draw in this game. But our front players have just gone off the boil a little bit and aren't scoring the goals for us. And in our latest game, well, we rested a few of our key players because fitness levels in the squad are not great at the moment. We've been playing a couple of games a week for the first time this season. They've not coped well with it. We've still got lots of sulky players that we're trying not to use because they never put in performances. And against Ajaccio, well, it meant that we could only muster a 1-1 draw. The reason we rested some players is because today's game is huge. We're playing Brest. If we show you the league table, you'll see why this is such a big fixture. So that little run of form means that we're no longer top of the table. We don't have that lead over our challengers. In fact, we're only 5 points clear now of the teams in the playoffs. If we lose today and Valenciennes win, well, we will be just 2 points ahead of those playoff chasing pack. And Brest are just unstoppable this season. In 26 games, they've not suffered a defeat even once. We've been having a great season. We've been beaten 5 times. It's only our lack of draws that means that we are as high up in the table as we are. But Brest, they just do not lose. They had a little sticky spell of their own where they had 3 draws on the bounce, but they are well and truly back to winning ways today. And it's going to be a pretty difficult tie for us, I think. What we're going to do next is check in with the team that we've selected for today's crucial game. I think it's as strong as we can get. So we're not going to panic. We're not going to change formation. We've still been playing well, even in some of those games where we've been dropping points. And we've also strengthened a little bit. Although this problem of having players that are suffering from poor morale because they want to leave since our relegation, it's probably got worse. We know that we've got Dubois that's unhappy. We've got BA that's unhappy. The transfer window has just closed. If bids had come in that were sensible for either of those players, I'd have let them go. but nothing was coming in, just offers to take them on loan, and we'd still pay all of their wages. The other player that we've got unhappy that we're going to keep in the team is Lansana Bar, because he remains the best option that we have out there, although Espen Larsen Pleam has been playing a few games out there. He's got 2 goals in 3 starts, so he's going to be on the bench. But we've also strengthened our squad. The reason we've been able to strengthen our squad is because we did lose a player during that transfer window because a club came in and met his minimum fee release clause. Anthony Vincent was one of those players that was unhappy. We'd not played him a lot because his morale was so poor. It meant his performances were quite weak, but we were keen to keep hold of him and maybe kick him into life next season because, as you can see, he's a player with some pretty enviable attributes. He's now worth 21.5 million at Brentford, playing in the Premier Division, and he's already got 2 assists in his opening 3 appearances for them. He is a sad loss, but it did mean that it gave us some money so that we could go out there and strengthen. We already had the 3 players coming in linked to our time at Trompsdalen. So as well as bringing in Larsen Pleam, we bought in Trond Agne Bratton, and we also bought in Yuri Grachev. But there's a story to tell there, I'm afraid. 30 days he lasted before he asked for a transfer. The only way we could get him to sign a contract to come and play in the French second division was to promise him that we would strengthen the defence of the team. I thought we'd done that, because arriving with him was Trond Agne Bratton, and with some of the money we got from our transfer dealings, I also bought in a young French defender called Armel Kouame, who I thought, as a centre-back, right-back, looked a pretty decent option. Well, Grachev thought differently. As the transfer window closed, he came into the office complaining because we'd broken our promise of strengthening the defence to him. There was no reasoning with him, and he's asked to leave, so he's on the transfer list. After only 30 days, he's made 4 appearances for the club, and he already wants out. Maybe this is another problem that might just evaporate if we can get promoted, but not an ideal start to his time with Toulouse. We also brought in another couple of players as well. We had an injury to our backup goalie, which meant that we didn't have one to put on the bench. We had to put a greyed out player on the bench. So we brought in a new goalkeeper, only 18 years old, probably not going to be Ligue 1 standards, but as a backup, reasonably a good option. And then in midfield, we brought in Nicolas Hartmann as well. Again, 20 years old, French, I think. He's got some pretty decent attributes, especially in those mental areas. If he could develop a little bit more, he'd be a good backup option for us. But I needed this strength in depth, because not only were we struggling to keep a fit squad, but of course we've also got these unhappy players that are just not even worth putting on the bench. So today I think we're going with as strong a team as we are able to put out. Nicolas has still been an absolute revelation for us in goal. We've got our strongest back 3 out there. We've got our 2 on-loan fullbacks there who have been really good, and Kyrgyzstan has picked up a little bit over the last maybe 6 or 7 games. He's actually averaging above a 7 now, so he's doing okay. Salim Chan is one of the players that's been struggling most with fitness. You can see his training performance is suffering as well. We've had to take him out the firing line a little bit and give him some rest. He's a big miss for us because he's got 10 assists now, alongside 4 goals. We're going to play Labate alongside him, and then a front 3 of Ba. And then the magic is hopefully going to come from Carvot, who's got 9 goals and 5 assists for us in the league. And then the big man, who stuttered a little bit recently, but Al-Balushi is still a danger. He's got 22 league goals in 24 starts. I'm hoping he can put in a big performance today. Let's just remind ourselves what we're playing for, because if we could get a win, we'll be back level with Brest, and a chase for the title is back on. The defeat that I'm fearing means that we are looking over our shoulders at that chasing pack, and the board are starting to look at us and think whether we were the wrong person to appoint. Okay, this has got the feel of a big tie to it. When we went 13 games in a row, only conceding 1 goal and winning all those matches, things were looking so good for us. I was starting to dream of promotion. But over the last few games, I've just watched us slip down that table. And this game against Brest, if we lose it, well, we are looking like a team that might only finish in the playoffs rather than get promoted. This team are an absolute juggernaut. They just will not lose a game. But if we could put a defeat on their record today, maybe it might just start them getting a little bit jittery. Maybe they could lose another game or two, and we could reassert ourselves back at the top of the table. We have got the ball. It's Barr that's on it, and he's cutting inside as an inside forward is prone to do. And there's Carvot. He struck the post. I think he was offside anyway. We're back into the highlights. We've got the ball again. We've got Labate. He's slung one in. Albelushi's won a header. It's the perk of a 6'5" target man, but Barr, that is a weak effort. We've got work to do. We've restricted Brest to just one shot, but we've played this game out before a few times. We're restricting teams to very little chances, not scoring ourselves, and then in the second half, they pop in a free kick, a set play, take the wind right out of our sails. We're going to have a very tactful team talk, I think, at half time. We want to keep morale up because they've been suffering a few defeats, but we want to urge them to do a little bit more. We'll see you after the break. Okay, we are back underway and we've made a little change at half time. Lansana Barr's body language during the half time break was described as desperate. So we've taken him off and we've brought on young Roussel on the left wing. However, 62 minutes have already elapsed and we've not had a highlight in the second half. I think it might be time maybe to nudge up our mentality and see if there's any more tactical changes we can make. Okay, little defensive change made. Green was looking pretty tired. We brought Bratton on as the central midfielder in the three, the central defender in the three. And he's got the stopper function on, and we've won a set piece. We've only got 18 minutes left. We've slung it in. We've not even got a header on the end of that corner. We've got Carvot not exactly rushing to get the ball. Now he's showing his pace. He's going in. He's got a crossover. Oh, the big man is back. Salah El Belushi has stroked home from the 6-yard box. That is a huge goal for us. Carvot picked the ball up. He looked like he was in no rush, but then he darts past one man. He drives at a second. He slings the ball over, and my goodness, actually, we've got lucky there because that's taken a huge deflection off a defender and beaten their goalie. All ends up. 18 minutes to go. Time to have one more look at the tactics. See whether maybe we need to take one more of those tired players off. Hopefully to get us the victory that we need. We have got 13 minutes left to play. We've got Gosalan, the man that's just come on for Cham. We've swapped him and Labate over. Labate will go box to box. Gosalan will be the more defensive of the two. We've got the ball forward. Here is the big man. Can he find a pass? He has, I think. That's offside. It's not. It's actually a great chance. And maybe Carvot should have taken it. We're racing our way through 84, 85, 86. 86 minutes on the clock. Time to get into the instructions. We're going to take the tempo down a notch. We're going to put the time wasting up just a tickle. We're going to play for those set pieces. This could be a big result if we could hold on. We're going into the 90th minute. We've got a free kick. Roussel sends it over. It's gone for a corner. We're going to pause it again. We're about to get 90 minutes up. Let's go full time wasting. Let's drop that tempo and that passing even more. Let's try and just keep hold of the ball. It's a corner. Hopefully we've left enough men back. We might be going for a near poster by the looks of it. We don't have the man coming short. Roussel's wasting the time for us. A second goal here would be beautiful. He's got on it. I think he struck the bar. Oh, it's one of the centre-backs that had come up. No matter, just see out the game. Just waste a bit of time. 93. We don't want attacking highlights. Carvot. Okay, just head it over, son. Now get back into position. Defend like your lives depend on it. 30 seconds to go. This looks like a highlight, you know. This looks like a highlight. We've got Lacasse. He's got the ball away. Here's the big man. Hold it up, son. No rush to play. He's beaten a man. He's got Roussel. What are we? 15 seconds. We're in possession. We should not give the ball away as easily as that. Get up. He's been beaten in the air. It's gone out for a throw. That could see us home. This would be a huge win. We'd be tied on points with Brest. If we can just hold on, do not break our hearts this late in the game. We're over the allotted injury time. They've had a strike. They've got a corner. They're not going to have time to take it. We've done it. That's an important win. Not only does it prove that we were right not to change the tactic, not only does it help get morale back up, it gets us back into a title race. Well done, lads. And we should now be level on points with Brest. In fact, our goal difference means that we're top of the table. Valenciennes had a good win, 3-0. They are breathing down our necks, just 5 points behind. There is no margin for error. We've got 11 games of the season left. We now need to go on a little bit of a run, keeping things tight at the back, scoring some goals, getting some wins. And maybe when we come back for our next episode, we might be talking about that P word again.